Hello and welcome to the Brother Slim. This is Cam, and continuing this little video journey of checking out the most recent Aeon Trespass delivery stuff. I've sorted through the Last Tome, at least as a cursory option, or cursory go at it, and I figured I would flip through so everyone can kind of see how I put it together, which is basically just roughly following the very vague instructions that are inside of it, and share some kind of thoughts. Also, we'll take a look at the Tuckbox that it comes with too, and I'll run through what I did as far as what's in there. And at the end, maybe we'll go through the little pack here as well of errata stuff. For starters, so let's go with this thing first, just because we got it out on the table and it's huge. So that is one note. This thing's freaking massive. It doesn't actually even fit on my bookshelf. So I guess that's kind of fitting, and it's big, chunky, and hopefully it's going to be resilient for lots of long game nights and such over many years. But it's huge, and it's kind of unwieldy, and considering the game is already massive to begin with, it's going to be a little tough on the table space, methinks, and especially for my group, because we do have a smaller table situation. So that's just one thing to note with this thing. It's freaking massive. One thing I'll note too, so I've been flipping through it maybe for about an hour getting it all set up, and it's already starting to see like a little bit of wear and tear on some of the ring bindings, and I don't know if that's just me being crap with this giant binder. But I think reinforcements are going to be important there. So it says that there's instructions. And so basically the only instructions it has, and we'll flip to them in a sec here, are things like this. So it just says section example, divider page, and a card slot page. And it doesn't give you much more information than that. So instructions unclear. But we'll flip through and I'll show you. It does give you a better breakdown of how to do this Tuckbox thing. So that's nice at least. But yeah, so the art process of here is really cool, and like having a lot of this bigger full page art is awesome. So the idea behind this thing is organization for all of the cards and gear that you use more often, and then also being like a flip through of the stages of the game. Personally, I think that like we've got a printed out third party game reference thing, and to be fair, that thing is like 3 pages long, but I think it's way more efficient than flipping through this entire binder each time that you go through a turn, just because this thing is, again, so freaking big. But at the beginning here, so we have the sheets here of your Argo sheets for the cycle. So just did cycle 2, got all that ready to go, which is nice. The full printer piece of paper didn't actually fit in here, so I had to trim it down to actually get it to fit. Just kind of one little oddity to note there. And then I figured, why not keep the old cycle 1 and eventually like all of our completed ones on the back side there, just as a little for funsies reference. So movement, step, and time sheet. So again, it gives you the layout of how to play and different rules, and all has like these big, much larger pieces of art, which are great. I think it's all art that's used elsewhere in the game. I don't think there's any new art. I don't know that for sure, but it looked all familiar. But seeing it blown up is awesome. So for example, this art is on like a, let's see if we can not get that glare, is on a much smaller card component, if I recall correctly. And seeing it blown up on this big sheet looks freaking sick. Same with the bridge Tholos there. And then it's got, once again, some kind of rules breakdowns and how things go. And so you flip through, and then expedition, exploration, step. So again, like very thorough details about like the whole process of playing the game, which are good if you're a newbie and a good reference either way. But again, it just feels like cumbersome to flip through this the entire time. More cool, awesome art. We like that. We like that very much. And some more stuff there. Okay, so yeah, here's an example of stuff. So we've got the encounter board. And then on the next page here, we have, next page is a battle controller. So just kind of like a alternative to the one that comes on like the actual game mat, basically, or the game battle board. And so, I mean, it's a cool idea. And like, it's nice to have everything right in front of you here, but like this binder is, again, freaking massive, and all of the game components to play with are also like quite sizable. So I don't think many people are going to have room for this to be able to actually utilize it. And like maybe if you have like a music stand or something that is, first of all, strong, because this is a heavy thing, separate from your table, that could work. Okay, and I'll keep going here. So these are, and again, like a nice, awesome art. I think this is from the beginning of Cycle 2, and it's like a Temenos mine or something. So seeing that blown up looks freaking sick. And again, like having rules references is all good. And then there's actually codes for audio, which is pretty cool. And these are nice. I'm a big fan of this. So basically, this is your character save slot. So from my understanding, the gist is that you would do your Argonaut's little profile there, and then up to your 4 Nemos nodes, and then your Argonaut sheet here. I kind of wanted to just have like the preferred gear that we always use in our characters slotted in right there as well, just so it's right there. So I did that. So there's like 4 or 5 small cards in there. Originally I tried to fit them in there, but it's just too much, too many cards and too small of a space, but this works. And obviously one more larger card could fit behind, or you could double up. So that's what I'm doing. And there we go, just more examples of more of our Argonaut loadouts with the gear that they have, which is nice. And here's the 4th one. And then this, I don't know if it's the most correct thing to do, but it was just here and it fit well. So I put just our 4 main go-to Titan sheets in here. So Ulyssia, that looks a little bit older and more beat up. And then the rest of the Cycle 1 Titans, which we've been playing as lately. So they are all just nice and easy access here. And then these are various like certain named Titan things that we got going on too. So different strains and such. So just figured that they'd be nice and right here for easy access. I think there's like a different sheet that they call the Gymnasium later on, and I think it's what is meant for all of these. But we don't have that many, and this way they're nice and accessible outside the character sheets. And so then same idea, you could have more Titan sheets there, and maybe I'll just fill those in with more as we continue. Then research steps. So again, awesome art. This was much smaller before. And then Last Academy. So this is an example of where I was like a little bit confused about how this was all supposed to work, because through all the research and stuff, I didn't see any specific kind of disclaimer for, is it the stuff that you already have, or is it stuff that you have yet to research and is in your deck of cards that you can research? So I was a little confused on that. And so what I ultimately did was, so there's structural and then combat ones. I can't remember the specific name of them. So I just put, as it kind of says structural here, just put just structural ones in these next sections. And so the ones flipped to blue, the dark blue side of the cards means they're ones that we've unlocked already. And then the ones that are on the white side are the ones that we haven't unlocked. So that way my thought process is, and this might get unwieldy as we get more things that we need to unlock, but there are quite a few extra pages, so I think it should be okay. This way, like whenever, if it's on a timeline year where it says you're researching a structural thing, then we can just open it up and we've got all of the things that we've already unlocked and all of the things that we can unlock just basically side by side. So it's nice and easy to reference. So again, I don't know if that's what ITU intended, but I feel like it just kind of makes sense for where we're at with the game right now. And I do really love being able to just flip this open and see all of our different abilities and such, because especially as we got to the end of Cycle 1, it was kind of like, I think we have a card that might be able to help us, but I can't remember. Let me go digging through this huge deck of cards and see if it's a thing or not. And then there's also things like, I saw one of these cards is you can lose a priest to lose a Argo Fate. Totally didn't even know that we had that card. And so this way, if we're ever in a tough spot, we can just take a sec, look through the binder, and find it. So there we go. So these are all the structural ones once again, and then there's plenty of extra sheets. This one's just way back here because I don't think it's going to be relevant, and plenty of other sheets to fill in there if we need to. This art is one of my favorites, and this one I don't know if it's in the game, or if it is, I haven't seen it yet. Looks like somewhere in the Argo with carcasses, for lack of better words, like maybe sirens or maybe pursuer base, just looking at these big bird skulls. Really cool, and I'll see if I can get it closer, but yeah, there we go, without the glare. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's kind of hard to parse, there's a lot of stuff going on, but it looks neat. Me like it. Okay, and then, so similar idea. So this is production technologies, and so I figured same idea, we'll just go with I think this is production symbol, so a lot of it's more related to crafting such, or crafting stuff. And again, it gives you different rules on what to do here. I kind of wish, like, so instead of just saying, like, so gymnasium page, like, what is a gymnasium page? Like, even if it's just in brackets saying, like, what you are supposed to put there instead of just gymnasium. Just like a little bit more clarity on the specifics of like how they imagine this being used. Part of it though too, and we'll talk about it when we get to the Tuckbox, is like they wanted it to be modular so people can change things. I mostly just kept it as I think it was meant to be done, but again, I don't really know, and this is the first time messing about with this. And so then their bronze layer, that's the only production technology that we don't have researched yet going into cycle 2. And I also just kind of did it in order of recency too. So the stronger, harder to get stuff is all on the first page. And then the last page here is the most basic stuff from the beginning of cycle 1. So again, lots of extra pages to fill up there. Titan Stoa, so all about Titan breeding, you know, that kind of good stuff. Nice to have that out. And again, awesome to see a much larger piece of art there too. Titans hanging out. Our good old meat pocket monster slaves. Kind of sad and dark, that's for sure. More great art. Again, love seeing the art blown up. That's freaking awesome. And then, so this one's nice and clear. It's just straight up Argo abilities, or Argo ability pages, like sweet. So there are our Argo abilities, and that is nice. And then Argo Armory. I think this is like the 13th Muse or something it's called. We haven't unlocked it yet, but there's a tease about it coming, and then just some fun little decal kind of weapon pieces there, which is pretty cool. And also, yeah, just like holding this thing up, like this thing is heavy. It's a huge binder. Okay, so then information on all the different kind of gear and such, which is cool. Again, quick, nice reference, which is nice. And then Argo Armory pages. So Argo Armory, my assumption there is that it's gear that you've already crafted and you have left over to do. But then again, there's like quite a few pages, so maybe this is supposed to be like, so Argo Armory. Does that mean it's the stuff I can craft or the stuff that I've already crafted that I have extras of? Just like a little bit more clarity there. And part of it might again kind of play into the Tuckbox, which we'll get to in a little bit. But so there's 2, 3, there are quite a few pages there. So just given how many pages there are, maybe I did this wrong, and it'd be better to have everything that we can craft in this section. That might make more sense rather than how we have it now. But yeah, because there's a lot of those pages. So I think Armory is probably things that you can craft rather than things that you've already crafted. And maybe the Gymnasium is where this stuff goes, or I'm not sure. That I do not know. But anyways, that's the kit that we have to switch in and out if we want to. Story step. So again, awesome arts. This looks like probably cycle 2 would be my guess. Story step. So big cool art there. And then they've got enough room for all 4 story cards for your cycle. So just got it already for cycle 2. So 1A is where we're going to start off in. And then it'll work its way all the way through here. This is actually the only thing I changed. So the Doom section is only a single page, even though that there's, I think, 3 or 4 Doom cards. Okay, that's how I did it. So we've got the one there, and then there's the back side. And so for the back side, I just stuck the other Doom cards there. And just a side note, that art is so sick. Yeah, so the Doom cards, this was originally further in the book in a dedicated Doom section, but I was like, you know what, we might as well just have the story and Doom right beside each other. It's how we went through cycle 1, so just kind of continuing on that. This, I don't know what it's here for. Let's see if the story step tells us. Clue page. Okay, cool. So this one is meant for clues. Again, it doesn't specify clues that you have either discovered or not discovered. That might be in the Tuckbox though too, so I might have just not read it well enough, but we'll get to that in a sec. Actually, we can actually just look at this. So the sticker sheet is to do with the Tuckbox. And it has displayed exploration cards. Is there any clues here? Other BP, undiscovered exploration, map, gear, clues. Okay, it does. So undiscovered clues. Okay, so I think that would mean that clues that you've discovered go in here, and undiscovered clues go elsewhere. I am not putting them in the Tuckbox myself, but we'll get to that when we get to the Tuckbox in full. Inward Odyssey, one of my favorite parts of this game is these cool story things. So it gives you a little rundown on Inward Odyssey. Strangely, it doesn't have so unlike the story, unlike the Doom sections, it doesn't have a dedicated sheet to put your single Inward Odyssey card. Maybe it's just because it's the one card and they didn't feel like it was warranted. But just interesting, that's the only one that doesn't have a dedicated sheet to put the card in. Then on to the Nymph Aeon. Strange Alliances. So this art they showcase in updates quite often, and it is beautiful art. So great to see it's getting a big shine printed here. Then we have summoning pages. So this is strictly related to summoning nymphs. So we don't have a ton of nymphs. We've got 5 of them. And so what I would love to do is have it being art forward, because the art on all the nymph cards is stunning. Like all of the nymph art is like just all of the art in this game is phenomenal. And the arts, the nymphs especially, are like a little bit more artsy, esoteric than some of the other stuff, which is really neat. But just for the sake of using this thing and being as efficient as possible, like having the actual effects just made the most sense. So there we are there. And then there you go, and you can get an idea of how many nymphs are available through the whole game. Forlorn Naos, so this is about Awakening, so it gives you the rundown on Awakening, and this is the rule: lose 1 priest to lose an Argo Fate. I think this might be a card too, but I had totally forgotten that was even a thing. And so Spark of the Dead Gods. This is Awakening, so you can see the god forms that we have there. The god forms has the effects and some of the art on the same card, which is nice. Although the backside does have full art, which is nice too. Yeah, very fun, very thematic. Me likey a lot. So you can see our 3 god form options there, and then we continue to flip through. Argonaut Mausoleum. So when Argonauts die and retire, they go here. So we should actually have a Argonaut or so. Yeah, I can't actually remember. I haven't read through this all yet. But yeah, so flip that over for now. And then Nemo's Vault. I was doing the Nemo's Vault wrong, and so I haven't put anything in here yet because I couldn't find the ones that should have been in there. Doom Step. So Doom Step, this is where that one Doom sheet was, and it just felt like, you know what, like, yeah, following the order of flow, that's not going to be till later, but often you add Doom during the story when you're also dealing with the story and Inward Odyssey, so it just felt like it made sense to move it a little bit further. And that's where the modular nature of you can add sheets, you can move stuff around makes a lot of sense here. That's some fun art on the end step there. So we can get rid of that glare almost. That's nice. And then the back has a reference sheet. So this reference sheet you could just pop out and use as kind of like a ginormous player aid if you wanted to. We've got like a smaller, just normal paper size printed out that we use, but still great that that's included. And yeah, so that is this heckin' chunk. Let's see, are you going to close properly? Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the square rings, and my assumption is that was done for a reason of just this thing being such a heckin' chunk, but it just doesn't feel like it opens and closes really nicely. And maybe that's just me not being used to this kind of ring, but that is how I feel. I do really like this on the whole. It's just so freaking big is the only thing. So that is the Last Tome campaign binder. So pretty sweet. It's just a heckin' chonk for sure. So there we are. Aeon Trespass. 14 plus. Pretty wild indeed. So we'll put that up here, and then we'll take a quick look at the little box here. So this Tuckbox actually comes unbuilt, and then you just need to, it's really simple. Like it's just, there's 4 peel me back stickers, and then you just form it together, and then you got a box, which is nice and simple. And there is a magnet component, which is nice. The magnets are pretty light though. So you need to like definitely just firmly close it, and then it'll stay shut. And it does have like a decent enough stick there too. So pretty cool. So I loosely followed their kind of recommendation about what to put in here. So how these things work, let's see. It comes with a huge amount of dividers, which is awesome. Big fan of having lots of these just in case. And then it comes with stickers. Stickers I don't love. but I do like it how it is like a modular thing. So let's see if we can get nice and close here, and I wonder if we can read that. I don't think that's really showing up, but so each one, so up here, for example, is disposed, exploration, and exploration deck, or we have a adversary, AI, and BP / traits and such, Moiros and Kratos and conditions, so all kinds of different useful things, and then you get to choose which ones they go on here. It does have a nice handy sheet online of like their recommendation about how to do it, so that's on Into the Unknown's resource page. So I followed it roughly. And so for me in the back, we have the Moiros and Kratos cards back there. There we go. And then I just put, instead of it doing like separate dividers for each, I was like, you know what, like I think it's organized fine when the AI and BP stuff's all together. So here we are. This is Hermesi the Great and Powerful, all of his or its cards. So my kind of thought process was, I think the main box is organized well enough for a lot of the stuff. And so if this box could just be for fighting, and so this purple one, which is cycle 3, is the hardest encounter of the, oops, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Hardest encounter of the cycle. So that is the Nishtun. And then red for cycle 2 is the second hardest, in this case the Chimera. And then the cycle 1 is kind of like the intro boss, which is Cyclonus. So no, it's not necessarily that cut and dry as far as difficulty, but I figured it made sense. And then undiscovered technology. There we go. So this is all the cycle 2 technology that we don't have access to yet. And then we have trauma and conditions, just kind of lumped together on the same one here. So the cards were starting to merge together a little bit, but so they have stayed mostly apart. And then over here we have, there wasn't any name for it, so it was just other. It is like single and double wounds, and then all of the terrain cards are there too. So basically it's just like a quick, easy access of whenever we're going to have a fight, here's everything that I need to set up a fight encounter. And then the main box has everything else. And so on the bright side, I think what this kind of means is if I want to continue sleeving the entire main game and have it all sleeved, because of this little extra storage, it could all be sleeved and actually fit in the box, because it was, you cannot sleeve the cards and have it all fit in the main box. There's just not enough space in the storage. Okay, so that is that. Let's just take a quick little look at this. So this is the upgrade pack. So it contains 2 stickers. Let's see what we get here. Packaged nicely, so there are the 2 stickers. We'll leave that there. So changing up a Cycle 1 map location, some various items. We got a Nestus Theater item, Dog Days, some traits for the Cyclonus and for other folks. Oh, and a God form. Oh, maybe keep that off to the side there. And then some various cards here also. Pop this open and just see. This looks like it's probably a Titan sheet. Are you a Titan? You look like a Titan. Oh, Skyseer. So Skyseer is going to change it a little bit apparently. And same with a few others. So honestly, considering how freaking massive this game is, like that is not very much stuff, and is cool that they did that, which is nice. So they're always keen on feedback and implementing it, which is good. But yeah, that I think we'll leave off there. And yeah, would love to hear if people got the binder and the Last Tome setup kind of stuff and what they think about it, or like what kind of save efficiency systems you're doing at home that's different. I haven't minded what we've been doing, which is basically just like organization through little plastic baggies. But by the end of cycle 1, it was definitely starting to feel cumbersome and not optimized at all. So I do think this is going to be a net positive, even though it's more of a table log and more stuff. Also, the boxes don't fit on my gaming shelf, so I don't know where I'm going to put the expansion box because I can't stack them. But yeah, lots of really cool stuff. All in all, stoked to be getting this delivery, and awesome that fulfillment's finally, for the most part, well underway. There's been a lot of grief in the comments about their fulfillment partner, so hopefully they take that to note going forward too. But yeah, much love, happy holidays, and we'll catch you next time. Ta-ta for now.